Is there anything I could do to help?
Basically what you can do is just tell them they're gonna die.
And so listen, people, if you don't do cardio, you're gonna die earlier. Coach Greg, and in today's video, Jesse James is on a mission, and I'm here to help him out. And what is the mission? To end or at least reduce the obesity epidemic. Well, Jesse James recently spent 50 hours in the most obese city.
Not gonna lie, I don't really like the word obese, but I'm gonna be using this as a medical term.
And so, what do you prefer? Fat? Oh, how dare you call me fat? We have to be able to call it something. Listen, if somebody can't process sugar properly, we can say, you're a diabetic. We don't mean that to say you're not worthy of love, that you're not a human being, but you are diabetic. If somebody has cancer, you say, hey, they have cancer. And so if somebody is obese, you should be allowed to say, hey, that person is obese.
Do you know any spots that are unhealthy? That's what I was thinking.
And so he asked the Uber driver, can you take me somewhere that sells unhealthy food? Everywhere. Name somewhere that doesn't. Now, that would be a challenge. And regardless if it's in Texas or any state or province, North America or beyond, there's junk food everywhere. It's in abundance. And why? Well, because our bodies are programmed to want this stuff. Tastes amazing. Gives us some dopamine. Feel good. Great. Wow. That helped us to survive hundreds of years ago because after all, you might not get food in the winter. Might be a famine. And so if you come across something sugary and delicious, well, of course, eat it all, stuff your face, helping us to survive. That's how dogs eat. But we are human beings, adults. We have brains. We can think. We know that becoming morbidly obese is not healthy. But yet we allow it to happen.
I did not expect to have an ice cream coffee and a brownie for my first meal, but you know what? This'll do.
We were off to a quick and unhealthy start of 2,000 calories for breakfast.
And so an ice cream chocolate chip coffee and a brownie for breakfast, 2,000 calories. Sounds amazing. And we glorify this. Look at the food I'm getting. Wow, it's so good. But yet, if I say something like, hey, you probably shouldn't eat that for breakfast. It's got too many calories, too much fat and sugar. How dare you, Coach Greg? How dare you tell me what to eat? Well, somebody has to. Your parents clearly didn't raise you to know how to eat. And so someone's got to do it.
Wow. Oh my God. Join me. Take a rib, my man. Enjoy yourself.
And so as Jesse sits down to eat a traditional meal full of sugar, fat, excess calories, he can't help himself. Wow, oh my God, enjoy yourself. Take a bite. That's what we do as a society. We see food as a reward. We've done this for years and it's done as a child. Hey, you were good. Do you want a treat? Hey, you won the ball game. Let's go and celebrate with ice cream. Oh, happy birthday. Here's a bunch of cake to shove in your face. Yummy. And so it's our fault. Us as a society, parents, families. We've caused this. We've allowed it. And so you walk from one restaurant to the next, you're in walking distance, junk food everywhere. At the local gym, Fitness FX, literally right next to it, attached to it is a McDonald's. And so you walk out after doing a heavy set of squats and you think, chicken nuggets and a Big Mac, wouldn't that be fantastic? And how many people do you think do that? Oh, it was an intense workout. I need a cheat day. 1,500 to 2,000 calories later? Oh, I earned it. Because I trained hard. You know, I probably burned off 250 calories. And so I need 2,000 calorie snack to compensate for this.
We live on the border, so that a lot has to do with it.
Okay.
You know, our food is, a lot of places are unhealthy because of where we live. It's our culture.
And so he meets up with a local lady at the coffee shop. She says, you know, we're right on the border. This is our culture. The food's great. However, the problem is it's shortening our lives. There needs to be a paradigm shift in thinking that we no longer need to celebrate good things in our lives with things that are going to destroy it. All these high calorie dense foods, the junk food, you don't need it. Yeah, you want it because it tastes good. Drugs also feel good. And I'm not promoting drug use. But if you do them, probably gonna feel good, gets you high, doesn't it? And so would you give your kid a pack of cigarettes? Would you give them vodka for their birthday? Of course not. but you'll give them unhealthy burgers, fries, cakes, pop, and you name it for their birthday, and an endless supply of Halloween candies that they ate well into Christmas. And then Christmas comes along and yeah, more candies, chocolate. Let's celebrate. Yay! But guess what? You can make lower calorie meals, healthy ones, with protein in them, and it shouldn't be a sin to think, oh, I want to have something healthy at my birthday party. Shouldn't be a problem to say, let's make cupcakes that have less calories, less sugar, something healthier. Why do we continuously promote obesity?
Eating like this, it's very easy to see how someone might just give up on their diet. The amount of dopamine that I'm getting from eating this is actually dangerous.
Why do you think this cookbook works so well? Why do you think tens of thousands of people bought it, lost weight, and kept it off? Remember, 95% of diets fail. Why? Because they're not sustainable. They're not realistic. People don't know what to do. They don't have the education.
Now, I know that doing cardio right now is pretty much pointless, but
No, it's never pointless to do cardio. Just because you can't burn off the 6,500 calories you've eaten this morning doesn't mean that cardio is pointless. It's great for your heart, boost your metabolism, reduce some stress, and maybe by walking, you're gonna think, maybe I shouldn't eat so much. Start doing cardio, feeling good about yourself, and a light switch goes off. You think, maybe I should also watch what I eat. Maybe I should only have one donut, not two. Maybe I shouldn't order an extra large fries with that.
what can I do to help? Is there anything I could do to help?
Basically, what you can do is just tell them they're gonna die.
And during his Uber ride, he asked the driver, what can I do to help people such as yourself to lose weight? I have a large platform, what can I do? Uber driver says, tell them they're going to die. And so listen, people, if you don't do cardio, you're gonna die earlier. But if you do cardio, can prolong your life on average 3.8 years, and that's just with 150 minutes of cardio a week. That's it. 150 minutes of moderately intense cardio a week, 3.8 years added to your life. You might not care about that now. You're only 15, 20, 30, 40 years of age. But what when you're 70? What about when you're Dana White and the doctor says you have 10.4 years to live, you're only 53? What will you think then? And so the Uber driver was once 390 pounds. He's down over 100 pounds. And so congrats to him. He's still trying to lose even more weight, but he also has a friend over 500 pounds in hospital. He can't walk, can't get up out of bed. He's morbidly obese to the point where it's drastically endangered his life. And so he says, I'm overweight, but at least I can walk. I can control what I do. I can still burn off those calories. And his friend, 500 pounds, can't get up, can't walk, can't do cardio. But you know what he can do? He can eat less. If you can't get up and you can't take care of yourself, that means somebody else is feeding you. They're the ones offering you those calories. And if they don't do it, guess what? You don't get them. And so anyone that's overweight to that point, they have what's called an enabler. That is somebody who's allowing them to keep eating. To me, this is no different than somebody who's a drug addict, has no money, and their parents keep giving them the money saying, I love you, son and daughter. I want you to be happy. Here's more money, when you know full well they're spending it on drugs. And so you can't do this. It's tough love. I'd much rather just be the nice guy and say, hey, it's great, no problem. Overweight, fantastic. But I don't believe it. I'd frankly be lying to you, to myself. And so I don't want to tell you that it's okay, that you can just love your body. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but it doesn't.
How can we prevent it? How can we attribute maybe knowledge or anything? Like, what can we do?
I think it's very important to start early. Your health is a priority. Your health is going to catch up with you later on.
And so he asked the dietitian, what can we do? There's so much obesity in the world. How can we solve this? He's like, start early. Teach people at a very young age. Show them you need to exercise. Lead by example. If you're a parent, go for a walk. Show your kids you can eat healthy. If you're eating junk every day, drinking regular pop, having ice cream, cakes, and candies nonstop, you're literally showing your kids how you're doing it and they model after you. Kids watch their parents and they emulate, they copy them. And so if you're eating crap all the time, you're basically teaching your kids that's okay. And then when they're older, what do you think they're gonna do? Of course they're gonna keep eating crap. You've trained their taste buds to literally like the junk that you're giving them. Imagine the difference if you said, no, fruit and vegetables. But they push back. I don't like vegetables. I don't like the taste of broccoli. Well, get the freaking cookbook and make them delicious recipes. Tons of delicious things in the cookbook your kids will love. French toast, pancakes, protein ice cream, you name it. They'll love it. Even my Seco bars. Kids taste test, giving it 2 thumbs up, delicious. And so if your kids will love it, then what are the chances you'll love it? Name another protein bars that all your kids are gonna wanna eat.
When children see their parents exercising, making their health a priority, setting time aside to get right, spiritually, physically, mentally, the children will be more likely to follow along.
Exactly.
Rudy, my man! So first of all, I want to say thank you for being willing to do this. It's brave of you. It's awesome of you that you're going to be able to help so many people watching this.
And so what led to this? Guy's over 500 pounds. Well, he fell, got sick, and then after being healed, well, he couldn't get up and walk again. But imagine if he had been healthy to begin with. Imagine he was only 250 pounds. Fall, get healed, would likely still be able to move. But if you're pushing boundaries, you're barely at the minimum fitness requirement, and anything goes wrong. You get sick, you get injured, you lose motivation. You can't have your freedom to go out and do cardio. You take off a few months and then you can no longer do it. You don't have your mobility, and then it leads to this. And so what is the best cure for obesity? Well, to prevent it from occurring in the first place.
Something as easy as getting you groceries or something that you might not have been able to afford for your kids.
25% of families are below the poverty line.
So bigger families, less money, relying on cheaper, worse foods.
And so one of the problems is not everyone has as much money. Let's face it, some of these things cost a lot of money. Not everyone can afford the most expensive fruits and vegetables. But listen, you can't make that an excuse. Yeah, it's cheaper to buy chips than it is to buy salmon. But there are cheap alternatives to everything. Can't afford a steak? Can you afford tuna? Perhaps you can't afford the Seco bars. Can you afford to eat an apple, a banana? There's fruits that are in season that are cheaper, frozen vegetables rather than fresh. And so one of the most important things to remember is that with knowledge comes power. And so if you become educated, you can learn which foods are cheap and healthy. You simply have to do the research. YouTube videos are free. You can watch them. Discover for yourself, wow, I didn't know that was healthy. Fruit, many people think can't have it. It's not healthy, it's got fructose. Had that conversation today, their doctor said, hey, you gotta limit your fruit intake. No, learn which foods have less calories that offer nutrients and buy those that you can afford.
After finally being able to meet with Mayor Villalobos, I wasted no time and asked him some questions.
Did you know that McAllen is ranked #1 for most obese in the country?
That's what we read. And yes, and I think one of the issues we have is a lack of education a lot of the times.
And so you can see, lack of education, a huge problem. With knowledge comes power. And so watch my videos, watch Jesse's videos. And as Jesse says, stay relentless. Don't give up. You can do it.
I want to propose something to you, and I think it's a brilliant idea.
As long as it's not marriage.
No. Well, will you marry me? No, I'm kidding. I want to propose to have a National Jesse James West Day in McAllen.
And so a National Jesse James Day, probably not going to be what's going to solve the healthcare crisis, but what will help is everyone watching this. That means you. That's right, you. Lead by example. You don't think you can make a difference? Of course you can. Start eating healthier. Start doing cardio. The people who see you doing it, your friends and family, they'll be much more likely to do it. Be a role model. And that doesn't mean being perfect or having a six-pack. It just means doing the best that you can. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being better than you are. Hopefully the video helped. Please, I encourage everyone, go follow Jesse James West. He's doing his part to help with the obesity epidemic. And so if you like the video, please like it. And I urge you to become a subscriber. That will help me so much. Please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. That's the biggest thanks I can get. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm, watch the bloops, follow me on Instagram at Greg Doucette IB Pro. And until next time, I am out.